Welcome to today's episode, another 820 episode with your host, Ming, Ahmad. Today, let's talk about a simple word, a thing that we heard discussed in many aspects and avenues, even stock market or even in your household. A word called gold. When you hear gold even mentioned, I would imagine it brings up in your mind something that's worthy. When you say gold, you think of worthiness. And on that same aspect, something of worth. Maybe even when you think about or consider the term gold, you think about wealth, particularly if you have a lot of it, or you have gold stocks or gold bullion or gold certificates in your bank account, or actually you're sitting on several bars of actual gold. That probably is considered as wealth. But sometimes let's consider that term gold under this context. Something that stands out or that fits in. Like by nature, the term gold, does it stand out or does it fit in? And given that perspective, the term gold, which I'm asking you to keep center in your mindset right now and in your heart set. You're gold by nature, your perspective of gold. And can you see gold in conjunction or associated with your uniqueness, your unicornness, if you will? I say that because in my experience in these past 6 decades, 2 ladies. One, her name is Aunt Rosalind. The other one is Miss Martha. These 2 ladies, who had never met, they're decades apart in terms of their experiences and relationships. But they both share with me a term that I had never and would never imagine for myself as a moniker or as an example or even a description of me. But Aunt Rosalind and Miss Martha had the same thing to say to me without any prompting. There's no interview. There's no request for, hey, how good am I? How good am I? They both said this to me out of the blue. For Aunt Rosalind, she said to me that when I was born over 6 decades ago, she called me the golden child. I have no idea where that came from or why she said that to me. But as I was still trying to get some information about my upbringing, my father, my mother and my father, who never married. But in that discussion, Aunt Rosalind said she considered me, or was told, or she was aware of this, of me, my birth as a golden child to the Johnson family. Now, similarly, and that happened, maybe over 3 decades ago when Aunt Rosalind told me that I was the golden child. Now, fast forward to 2025, Miss Martha had a similar statement in a very sincere way, a organic way, an honest way, a heartfelt way that she called me the golden unicorn. So, given these 2 statements from 2 totally different women in my life. Aunt Rosin says, I am the golden child, or I was the golden child. And Miss Martha says, I'm the golden unicorn. I'm still not quite comfortable with their sincere and giving comments. But let me say that although I'm not sure about the accuracy or that it really applies to me, but if I took that statement, someone who would be called a golden child or a golden unicorn, I will say that I can observe that about all of us. Like me, though, we do not accept this kind of quality, this gold internally, or this golden aspect of who we are. This goldenness that the Creator bestowed on all of us from the start. From that spark, from the inception to the conception to the emergence in this physical representation. It seemed like only gold was allowed or mined from and through the Creator. Yet, we all permitted or allowed our internal gold to go foul or to remain as dross. When gold is in existence, it could be in the ground or deep in the ground, but it's in an unfiltered, unshined, unrefined, and not fully unearthed element. And that same goldenness can be said of you and I. At our core, at our essence, what I've been referring to in every podcast and in the book about this quality called resilience. So try, if you can, relate my term resilience to this gold I'm mentioning to you today. That gold, that resilience that's unfiltered, unshined, and not yet fully unearthed within us. That raw material, unrefined. Sometimes for days, years, maybe even decades. Sometimes never self-discovered until the end of our days here. And then when that happens, at the end of your days, they might say on your deathbed, oh, he was a great man, or oh, he was a great woman. But we couldn't get here and now with that realization. Why can't we do it now? Why can't we see that gold and the value that we all have within us right now instead of waiting for that terrible day that we're meeting our end? That thing I've been mentioning in other episodes called the entelechy. Entelechy. A great word that I never heard of until I heard that song and that album from Parliament back in the 70s. That was called funk entelechy. But the term entelechy simply means, by definition, the realization of potential today and in this moment. That's what entelechy means. The realization of potential today. I'm asking you to think about that and grab onto that golden ring of presence within. Yes, we can do this. Maybe you don't need a Martha or a Rosalind for your revelation. I did, and I do. But with or without those kinds of angels and messengers in your life, they do exist, by the way. Just consider noticing them now and going forward. You can notice yourself now. Feel your goldenness. It will stand out to you and for you. You have no choice. Nothing And no one is like you. You are unique. You are your own unicorn. Maybe a golden one at that. Some will recognize and treat you as such. Some will tell you. Many will not or will never say that to you. I have been so fortunate in this life that in spite of what I have done to this body and some small level of accomplishment, I did not disrupt the essence or soul or beauty within me. The gold, the resilience. I just didn't discover or uncover it until a few years ago. And just starting on that path of realization of resilience. And that's what I invite you into each day and in each moment. Stay safe, stay current, stay present. Please remember, it is always 8:20.